I'm Gary York, and this is very sophisticated psychology today. Big deal. So, any stupid people, refuse to watch it. Just for very, very intelligent people. And I'm running for the presidency 2020 and 2024, so I hope to win both. I watched some on TV today about some new jetliners going to be in use, and I wanted to mention Prejudice, a college graduate. So prejudiced, he designed apparently a plane that, the fat people have to sit in the back. And I think engineers, comedians, when I'm president, I'll look into that and we'll do something about that. I'm going to design this 2x8 correctly balanced so it will fly to simulate that it does not need fat people in the back to fly. Here's the elevator. I was on a 10-mile bike ride this morning. It was 80 knot headwind the whole way, and thought I'd give a shout out to this. This is a couch out on the 50. If anybody wants it, and somebody apparently had plumbing problems. A bolt loose. Somebody with a bucket full of Manly stuff from Lowe's, and so here's where it's at. And I'm an expert plumber, so you know, I'm not prejudiced, so I'll say, just in case they're overweight, you got a bolt missing on your toilet, you lean over to wipe, that thing might crack off and fall you on the floor, so go knock on the neighbor's door. So there's the plumbing stuff. That's local, so I'll probably hear about it and find out. Got the phone out to wake me up, and call me if I start to go to sleep on this one, because I practiced since the 90s to be loud and use what is called adult language. These videos are for all 8 billion of you on the earth, including children, babies, whatever you got, and to be watched over and over again. I'm going to address that problem right now. Happened I had a dream last night. I have quick dreams because I basically have attention deficit disorder. So I'm in a building with a window, and I'm looking outside at somebody sitting outside that is very funny looking. And yeah, I'm making fun of him. Somebody else, I'm making fun of him to him, and then one person comes in, and then so I show this to them. Hey, and one person that I was helping to make fun of this person, and that's reflective of reality. I've got one so far that is watching all the videos. One subscriber. And yeah, I know where you're at. You got that floozy dumping around, scrapping out a abortion video. Is that how it is in Canada? You go to a grocery store and it says no shirt, no shoes, no brains required, or you can't come in, apparently. You need to clean this mess up, start watching these videos, because this is your difference between hell and heaven. Come on, people. Get with it. These are the only intelligent videos that you've got. All the other ones are just junk in all the colleges. And you're looking at somebody next to you that's been to college, some sort of psychology. And all it is a bunch of trial and error crap, like going to the moon. Bunch of dum-dums, trial and error, and then, here's the result. And this is, I want to try to explain the credibility of it today. And like I say, that phone's sitting there, so if I fall asleep, give me a call. And there won't be any religion in it, so you don't need to hide a virgin born a son of God on a bale of hay. That is not religion. That is very, very severe and permanent brain damage. And it's time to get together with people that are claiming psychology anywhere. Somebody is sitting next to one. God is a figurehead for government. Abraham Lincoln was a figurehead for a bunch of criminals. There were people doing honest, productive work, very nice, picking cotton. And there were a bunch of pussies hiding in the bushes, shooting them with guns. There are many, many culprits. And don't look this way for it. Many, many. You need to look at the people sitting next to you. And I'm here with psychology. You've been told by your TV it can't be done. You've got to say something nice. And that's not nice. You're living in a lie, which is hypnosis. And not good. Nobody ever thought about it. How do you know that Jesus is the Son of God? That is not faith, that is not religion, that is the abandonment of your brains, which is hypnosis. Also, how is the devil bad? Nobody ever thought about that because it's done with connotation. Yeah, they tell you the devil's bad. There's no fact in that. They're just telling you a game rule. So I want y'all to think about that. And ad coming on the TV in America here, you've got to go to a clinic and tomorrow morning you're going to have an erection. Well, my very educated hypothesis here is that they're using hypnosis to turn you into a vegetable with a morning erection. And then as a little flicker of brains start to grow back, you're awake enough to know where you're putting that thing, and it wilts back now and again. And back to the clinic. You got a lot better world ahead than that. Fact, it's a woman's job to give a man erection. That is not prejudice, this is merely fact. And as you're living in a twisted game society that's well out of truth and reality, it's a constant hypnosis. And government thrives in it. You're going to learn today. I'm going to tell you some of my history. I had this here. No, don't buy a book. But I'll tell you quick, and no names. I'm allowed to identify figureheads because they're not the criminal. They're not the one you should be going after. You should be going after millions, billions of people that are sitting next to you and help them. Because this figurehead crap needs to be found out for what it is, and your connotation that you live by instead of living by facts is some really wild stuff. I mean, you people are severe brain damage, and you can still go to the moon. Dum-dums with infinite money, they do everything wrong. There's a situation of try not to. Try not to does not work. So, stand around doing nothing, well, eventually they do it instead of. And they do something right, and then they mark that down. Okay, now they know how to do it, and they move on to the next. And it's not about an intelligent thinking brain. It's just a computer, a sleepwalker. And I want to teach you intelligent brains where you'll have feelings, you'll have interaction with other people. You take a dump in the pool, you're going to ruin it for everybody else. You got a pool with a dump in it. Where's the word sequence? There it is. You cannot understand sequence. And it took me a lot of years. I'm 58 now. And you're going to hear about my history. Some of it may be considered boring. I'll talk about some insurance situations because they're all tied in the middle of it. You need to understand that, oh gee, you've got to hide. I've already heard it. You've got to hide. This goes against your religion. Hide behind the couch. You got your video going on with the floozies and the overweight animal being fed, and then it subsides. Fear tends to ease up. Even pain in your body. You've got chronic pain. Well, if you weren't worshiping medications, it would ease up. It doesn't stay forever. I've been around 58 years experimenting with it. And so I am definitely running for president. And I gave you enough in 7 and 8 for a recall election. And I also cut the video down so you couldn't quite see all of my head, so that to see what people would be attracted to. They were only attracted to that. And the religious people can't watch this. Yes, you can. You hide from it now. These videos are going to be slow to bring out because you've been doing this in hell for 9,000 years and you have no idea what the truth is. I've, like I said in the last video, I've read that Bible twice. Lucifer it says right there, is the light of the world. He was God's second angel or whatever it was. Is kind of intermingled. Devil, Satan. I don't like the word Satan. It's not attractive to me, so I use the word Lucifer. fine. And all evidence, by all the years I've lived, I'll start my history when I was about 6, because I don't want to identify anybody. I want to keep this vague, but legally I can't identify anybody. And but a police officer parked across the street, and I think I mentioned it in one other video, and he was waiting for me, and when I was away from all the other kids, he drove up, made it clear they were targeting me. They 3 of the households around my neighborhood, and nobody did any thinking. They only did what they said, because bad always wins in the end, and everyone knows that on a subconscious level. By speaking, it's going to be slow. These videos are being watched very slowly with a mouthful of argument in the middle of it. You cannot learn and argue too. When you're in a room with a group of people and you've got one arguer, they're ruining the video for all of you. And it can be watched again. So you've got a chance over and over again. I put a number on it. I'll be here 42 and a half more years. There is good evidence that I am the second coming, and from your history book, the Bible, being interpreted correctly. Not connotation, but correctly, by fact. By all the facts we know. To the victor go the spoils. The victor is always the bad guy. It's not going to be the innocent people picking cotton and doing productive work. It's going to be the pussies hiding in the bushes shooting them. That's going to win. And for this thing to work, I've got 42 and a half years. You got to weed out your genes and clean them up, because you're having bad fetuses. And we can do it. And I have all the answers to real psychology. All the answers have to be known to game psychology also, because talking it brings it up. It brings it out. It brings it to a different mind frame. You got two minds. You got your computer, and then you got your state of awake that's doing some thinking. And I did a number of, it would be a number 5 video is what I ended up with. The first one they wouldn't allow me to play. So I blanded it up, and if you want me to cut loose, please ask your representatives, because I got a lot better, more interesting way of doing things. Like I say, I practiced since the 90s to be very loud, and it's called adult language. No, words are not bad, people are bad. And this crap that you've got to say something nice is a trick, and it is the worst thing. You got 4 steps to fixing problems. And lying that it doesn't exist is what your TV tells you. And you got 4. Identify it, it's real. Then you go to the next one. It's a problem, and at the same time not a solution. You got to do both of those. Then the third one, identify the fact that you haven't tried to fix it, because the feelings in your body tend to be, I'll put a, if I have to put a number, I'll put 100%. You're living an opposite world. And this is your heaven. What you're going to end up with, you're going to end up with, I'm going to talk about insurance on this, and I'll be interested to see when that camera closes. But like I say, I'll just continue this video in the next one. You know, the phone's already ringing. I'm not even asleep. Well, no wonder I don't keep that phone in the room when I'm doing videos. But it does take my concentration off. It works. And I want all of you to consider that. When disruptions are occurring, the brain is very fragile. You need to help each other. You need to interact with each other. You've been taught, I know you don't actually poop in the pool most of the time. Both my apartment complexes, somebody did in each one. Probably a homeless person that didn't like people that were in apartments, and that is very educated guess there. You don't make yourself better by making your loved ones worse. And that's what you've been taught as soon as that TV came about. Interesting, I was born 10/30/1962. And there's evidence that they knew from the beginning that I'm of a different mind frame than everyone else. And your TV was available to everybody very quickly in that time frame. You would be better off listening to the track that I'm giving you, because there's more evidence of it, because of the timing of the events and the sequences, and motive is 10/10 of reality. Yeah, your Jesus, the Son of God, you have no proof at all of that. You have no proof that the devil is bad. According to your history book, God made the lake of fire, not Lucifer. I'm going to call it Lucifer. Somebody, as I mentioned in the last video, somebody changed my words. I'm using stupid and fool, and there's at least a dozen others. But they added one to it, idiot, and I still haven't looked it up in the dictionary, but it's a fun word, so I'm going to try referring to people as idiots. Maybe not the comedians. Some of them belong in prison at least for a few days or something to teach them a lesson about putting a laugh track on things that need to be dealt with in a serious manner. Because as soon as you put that laugh track on there, your government likes it. They've shut off all of you at number 2. You've got to identify something as a problem and not a solution. As soon as you're laughing it into your body, you got a problem. That's your friend now, and that confusion causes hypnosis, but you don't move on to 3 and 4 to resolve problems. And when people are choosing destruction, and I've seen it since I was this tall, just fascinated. It has been an awful life watching it. And people that are supposed to be intelligent, the highest intelligence, no. You're all this. And when I was a tiny child, I was this, and it's a better one. Now, the people, I'm trying to think what the term is, mentally challenged, used to be retarded. Oh gee, you can't say that anymore, so of course I won't mention that. Mentally challenged or diagnosed, something like that. They may be more intelligent than you are. you're full up, full up, full up. Oh, gee, you're a millionaire, a billionaire. You've got this, you've got that, and you've been to this school and that one. And like I mentioned, I think in the very first video, that God is even. All of you are. Somebody flying by in the jet plane, if they make it, if the plane doesn't come down the 45-degree angle into the ground. But yeah, they never thought of running everybody to the back of the plane, did they? No, you got to stay seated in your seat belts. So of course, yeah, safety. Oh yeah, oh yes, safety. I don't know what that means. What does healthcare mean? Yeah, it's a connotation. Healthcare has no meaning. They're intentionally tricking you. And I'll get into all that. I am your best presidential candidate. You can go back through 7 and the 8, number 7, and call a recall election, and the whole world would be better off. Everybody on the earth should be watching this. And I don't know how they're interpreted in other countries, but this is a big messed up melting toilet here. Slave labor is what it comes down to, and I am a slave laborer. So that's not being prejudiced. And I'm being used also. But the people that are here, I'm sure you know the American language and you know the language of your country. Interpret it somehow. Write it down on paper, but try to get it right. When you write stuff on paper, you're going to realize you have a feeling in your chest area that somebody has answered your questions, that things are filling you full, that you're getting on the TV or the mass medias of whatever. Try writing that down and see what you got. And it makes a big difference when things are writing down than when somebody says it. Connotation gets a little more difficult. It's still communicated by writing, and that's a mess. You'll do this in time. And I say that it's never been proven. You can't fix stupid. You might as well laugh at that one. Yes, a very nice comedian. Me and Lucifer are not so nice because we're telling you how big the problem is. And I got no complaints of him. Wonderful. Unless I wanted to complain they didn't say how big the problem is. But then you put a laugh track on it, and that's ruined you right at step number 2. So I say good for him. You know, unless I didn't see all of his shows or whatever. But George Costanza, oh gee, they're sitting in the jail for a year because they're doing a video of an overweight individual being robbed. Well, gee, they're doing videos of people being murdered over here in reality. Yeah, when he gave the answer to the the Iraq, they're all the same. The Iraq War, President Bush came on and told everybody on the earth he was not willing to make a choice. There was no psychology professor that came forward to help him. He was appealing to everybody because there is none. You got game psychology. You do not have what you needed to stop that war, and it did not it did not flatter government for somebody to come forward to stop that. Your government thrives on destroying, feeding the carnage. When they're putting fish in your lake, they're not government. They're not governing you. They're not hurting you. Therefore, they're not governing you. They're not government. And I've separated these two because you can't deal with something out of a big blur. When you've got 9 people that are not going to shoot you and 1 that is, you still get shot. You've got to separate the bad from the good. Bad always wins over good. And bad is individual. Yeah. Bad has no guilt. Guilt does not come from what you did. It comes from the people around you. And when if your dictionary definition is different than that, you've actually got 2 of them, and it should separate them. There's a guilt, oh, you did it. There's also a guilt, what are the people around you saying? And the bad guy, nobody's putting guilt on them. The good guy, yeah. We're being dumped with a lot of trash that doesn't belong to us. But I'll leave out a lot of my history. And, oh, gee, that would be a long one if... I'll mention this because I'm getting ready to change the oil, so I'll be putting this oil filter in the car. But I mentioned the rocket that blasted off to heaven. Your water heaters have a similar rubber grommet on top of them. Maybe in the winter you look down at the bottom of your water heater and there's some water there. Oh gee, thank God you have insurance, which is sarcasm. And you call up and you go one to the other and oh, aren't you smart, you got the best price, and now you're going to change out the water heater. And there's a little chance anyway, especially in cold weather or whatever, but there's a rubber grommet just like this on top of your water heater. And even though it's a heater, you might still want to just take an adjustable wrench and turn them just a little bit just to see if that'll stop the water at the bottom, because it may just be leaking out of those rubber fittings on the top. And the Mythbusters did a water heater episode, and it was really spectacular. They're good guys doing something intelligent, and I like that. But they blasted off, I think 2 or 3 of them. It'd get up to 425 degrees, and they had a little building around it to blast it off, and quite spectacular. They said it would work every time. It would blast straight up in the air. And so organized crime in Phoenix did that around that time that Mythbusters episode came on. And I'm going to add my hypothesis that some scared person was hiding under a mattress in that house. But they did what it took. You got to seal off the relief valve and whatever the other water lines going to it. I'm not sure what, but have your burner so it just keeps running. And that's all it takes. And it blew out about, if I remember right, about 4 roof trusses in the garage. and the water heater ended up, at least parts of it, over in the school parking lot, in the grade school parking lot. And so it was nearby my house, so I rode over there and took a look at it. And if I remember right, and I might not, but I think I do, I think they even took out the concrete and they built up a entire new house that